All right, hey everybody, how you going? So we're back for another week of weekly readings. So this is from the 3rd of September to the 9th of September. What I did is I've asked my guides, my spirit guides, if you could please come close and give everybody who's going to be watching this exactly what they need at this time. So, all right, we'll just get into it. Alright. So they're just talking a bit about grounding and that sort of thing. That um, there's been a lot of energy going around recently, and there's been quite a lot of excitement I can feel in quite a few people's lives, and some real new things that are coming about, and new beginnings and that sort of thing. But it's almost like you're getting a little bit overwhelmed at times as well, and sort of wondering what the best step to take, or what's going to be the best, or how am I going to be able to manage this, that sort of thing, and what to do in this situation. And they're saying, look, really, the best thing you can do, and as I'm clearing my throat there, I'm getting a bit of a thing, feeling that bit in my throat. It's about people really, sort of listening to their inner voice. It's about people sort of slowing down and seeing what's right for them, instead of what, they've been told from other people what they should be doing, or what they feel that they should be doing from what other people have said in the past, or other people's advice and this sort of thing. So this is really about getting back to self, and getting really back to your roots, and getting back to grounding and centering and that sort of thing, and really letting things flow that way. And they're just telling me, like, look, if it doesn't feel good, if it's not uplifting, if there's not some excitement about it, if there's not some fun, if it doesn't bring a smile to your face, well, maybe have a think, because it might not be the right thing for you. Although in saying this, when you go through some shifts and you have some new things come in, sometimes they feel a little bit uncomfortable, because you're not used to doing something in that way before. And when that happens, it does take a little bit of adjustment. But they're saying even in this, there's an excitement, there's a fun, there's a happiness in that. And they're saying that the more you can ground, the more you can bring yourself back to, the simple aspects of it, and really what's important, and being good to yourself. And they're saying do a grounding exercise. So a really easy grounding exercise I do a lot of the time is I just imagine that I'm a tree, and that my legs are like the roots of a tree. So I'm buried into the ground from my waist, from the top of my thighs down, and I just close my eyes and just take a breath, and I just stretch my legs right down into the ground. As I'm stretching my legs down into the ground, I'm feeling the cool soil up around my toes, up around my feet, up around, coming up my calves and up to my thighs and that sort of thing. And you can do this, doesn't matter where you are, sitting cross-legged, standing, laying down, whatever it is. It's really just about bringing your consciousness into that center here, and really stretching your legs right down into the ground, connecting with the earth, and really just bringing yourself back to where you are, back to Santa. It really helps quite a lot. And when you really connect to the earth like that, it simplifies some of the stuff. It doesn't take away the excitement, it just helps you see things a little bit more clearly and that sort of thing. So they're saying we're not going to go through the days of the week, this reading. I don't know why. They said I mentioned that earlier today, and I did actually. I forgot all about it. So all right, so they're saying around the start of the week, there's this I can feel this real energy coming up, and this real excitement about the start of the week. And it's really they're saying it's about finding what is fulfilling about this. It's about taking small steps and really enjoying what is at that moment, instead of what you want it to be, what you what the end goal is, this sort of thing. It's really about being in the moment. And they're saying it's like about being like the child. You know, children run around and that sort of thing, and they're in the moment. You know, they fall over, they scratch their knee. You know, you run over, you give them a kiss on the knee, you go, "It's all better, mate," and they go running off again, and they go running off with their friends and doing these other things. So it's really about keeping mindful and keeping really in the moment and that sort of thing. And by doing this, you can actually really expand on your on the excitement and on the fun of it, because it'll give you a lot more clarity as well, and it'll give you a lot more focus, and it'll just happen naturally. Oh, excuse me. It'll just happen naturally as well. And so, you know, do this and just see how it goes. And it's really about just bringing it back to the simple things, and it's about seeing what you have got instead of what you haven't got, and that sort of thing as well. So it's really about you know, giving yourself thanks for what you've created as well, and how well you're doing. You know, I can hear a fair few people out there, quite a lot of people actually, that don't really stop to acknowledge what they've done and where they've come from and where they're going and that sort of thing. And there's a bit around relationships in this as well, and it's really about, you know, sometimes, and I can see people thinking about past relationships and this sort of thing, and sometimes it's a bit hard to see that you have progressed. But the thing is that when you look back on where you have been, and then with, say, the different, if it's romantic relationships, and they're telling me it is, about the progression of different people, you can feel that there's been a shift there. And it's really about you saying, okay, well, you know, I don't attract this type of person anymore. You know, there might be a bit of a flavour in there like that, but I'm not attracting that type of person exactly. And that's because you've progressed. That's because you've been shifting things. That's because you've learnt things and you've wanted to heal and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's really about acknowledging what you've done instead of what you feel like you haven't done and that sort of thing. And yeah, they said do it with a smile on your face, because things get so serious so easy. It's so easy to get into that serious groove. And they're saying, hey, when you're smiling, when you're in the moment, when you're happy, the energy can flow through you a lot easier, a lot not quicker, but a lot easier, and it doesn't have as many obstacles and that sort of thing there for it to sort of go around. So yeah, like joy is a great conductor of energy. So it's those times when you're more happy, when you're more in the moment, things flow a lot easier for you. And even when stuff happens, it's easier to see clearly what needs to be done and maybe what you haven't done and that sort of thing as well. And that's where they're getting into the middle of the week about what you haven't done. And so this is about you really taking stock and sort of see, it's about getting to the roots of things and getting to the nuts and bolts of things, about going, well, you know, there's so much complication in our lives. There's so many different things that you want to do, but, you know, when you really simplify things down, usually there's a root there, there's a root cause, you know, like say we want money, or, you know, we want money. So why do we want money? So we can feel more free, so we can feel like we can do whatever we want to and that sort of thing. So this really, it's not so much about the money, it's about us feeling free. It's about us feeling like we can do anything we want to, that there isn't any limits on us and that sort of thing. So it's about connecting with that feeling about having no limitations. So it might be support, and it's about really connecting about you feeling more safe and feeling more supported. Why do you want more support? Well, it could be because you've got a lot of things on your mind. So they're saying, hey, if that happens, we'll simplify. Go back down, you know, cut things out and stuff like that. Because, yeah, complications can happen quite easily. It just sort of happens sometimes. So we're getting up towards the end of the week. Right, what's the end of the week now? What's the end of the week? All right, there's this kind of, there's a real shifting I can feel here that's going on through the end of the week. And it's, what is this about? All right, it's partly about money. It's about you seeing what you need to do. It's about clarity and that sort of thing. So they're saying some of this too. It could be, what have you been doing for yourself? It's about those basic sort of things, those basic exercises, like, how many times this week have you done something nice for yourself? How many times this week have you gone for a walk, you've gone out to the bush or something like that? How many times this week, have you had a bath, or you've sat down to do some writing on that thing you want to? And they're also telling me it's about those sort of those things that build up in your life as well. Those little things. Oh, I've got to send an email. Oh, I've got to call this person. Oh, I've got to catch up with that person, or I've got to sort out that work stuff. Those little things that build up. It's about really taking stock and going, right, how many of these little things have I actually got? Write them all down, and then just do one thing at a time. Every time you do one of these things, you'll feel accomplished. You'll feel like you've done something for yourself. You'll feel happier within yourself. And then when you do those things, actually say to yourself, hell yeah, damn yeah, I got one thing out of the way. I feel so much better. This is awesome. Excuse me. So it's about congratulating yourself, and it's really, I say that a lot, but self-congratulation and really giving yourself the acknowledgement you deserve is so important. And they're telling me this is some of the reason why some of the people out there aren't really feeling supported, because you're not supporting yourself. So when you start supporting yourself a little bit better, acknowledging what you've done, really looking at things, not what you haven't done, what you have done and how well you did it. And even if it didn't work out 100%, well, hey, did you give it a go? Did you try? And they're saying, that's worth a lot more than anything really. So yeah, it's about really cutting that stuff down and doing that. So okay, well that's about it for today's weekly, the weekly reading. So yeah, I've got a couple of questions I'm going to go into on a separate video. But yeah, text me through in the comments box on YouTube. Put in a question, and I'll go through and I'll answer one question every week. So, and tell me if you like the reading, that'd be great to get some more comments, to get some more feedback. And if anyone wants a personal reading or healing, there's a link below to my Golden Lotus Healings and Readings page where you can contact me, and I can do some reading or healing, or do some teaching as well. I teach courses, teach people how to do this kind of stuff. So yeah, like, share, all that kind of stuff. Have a beautiful week and be good to yourself. All right, thank you. See you later. Bye-bye.